Welcome to the American Studies World War II project. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your main menu screen. Your main menu screen should have 7 things on it. Number 1, instructions for the user. Number 2, 3, 4, 5 are just buttons, general history, oral history, pictures, and statistics. You'll have instructions for your reflection so that people are sure to complete the reflection. And lastly, you'll have a reflection button. When you are done, the main menu screen should look something like this. Here's the instructions, here's the 4 buttons, here's the reflection instructions, and here's the reflection button. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you worked on the home page, you probably have something like this up on your screen, your current home page, as well as the code for the home page. If you did not work on the home page, that's totally fine. You can just ignore the fact that you don't need any code. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to start with a new screen. In order for us to create new screens, we're not going to work in code mode first. We're going to go to design mode. And right now you can see the home page is showing up. The ID for home page is showing up. What I'm going to do is click this drop down and I'm going to click new screen. It's called screen 2 right now, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, the most important thing you can do for screens and elements is to label them correctly. What you'll want to label this one is main menu screen. And you can put any color that you want for your main menu. It doesn't matter, whatever color you want for your main menu. Okay? Now that you're done with the main menu screen, we can start to add the elements to that screen. The first thing that I had said were the instructions. The instructions for the user to know how to use this main menu screen. So what we'll do is go ahead and drag over a label and we'll put it there. It's currently called label 3. We want to change this ID to main menu instructions. And we can probably put the text something similar to what we did before. Select the something that you want to learn more about. Okay, so we can put select the topic or button or whatever you have that you want to learn more about. Okay. As I've described in previous videos, you can adjust this. You can change kind of the layout of it. However you want it to look is up to you. Okay. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to definitely change the font size and just make it just a bit bigger. And I like it if it's not taking up so much room there in the middle of the screen. Now that I've got my main menu instructions, again, you could, if you wanted to, change the text color of those instructions. If you want to keep the text color the same, that's fine. Remember, I've described how to change the background color. If you wanted a background color for your menu, you could change it that way as well. Okay, it doesn't matter. You make the decision, but you can delete colors by just deleting on the color that was set. Let's go ahead and start adding the buttons. There are 4 buttons. We need general history, oral history, pictures, and statistics. So what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that this is center aligned. That looks nicer to me. Okay. I will go ahead and drag over a button element. So I'll drag over a button element. And in fact, you noticed that as is the case before, when I select on a button element, I've got properties, I've got the properties that I can change, and I want to go ahead and start by changing the ID for this button. I'm going to start by calling this one main menu general history button. Again, this is camel case, and I've described camel case in the following way. The first word is always lowercase, subsequent words are capitalized, and there's no spaces in between. Make sure that you have this exact thing, main menu general history button, and I'm going to change it to general history. If you want to change the font size, go ahead and change the font size. If you want to change the color, go ahead and change the color. You can adjust things as you want. if you want to adjust the button size, whatever it might be, the text color, background color, okay? When you've got it set to a place that you want, if you were not working on the previous screen, you'll notice this. My cursor right now says that I'm on the main menu, so I can again adjust my main menu color. If I scroll over the history button, it changes to main menu general history button. And then also if I scroll over here, the ID changes. And I can see that change in my workspace over here. So I've got my main menu instructions, general history button, and screen. Since I need 3 more buttons and they're generally the same thing, I'm just going to duplicate this. 1, 2, so I've got 4 buttons here. Okay, I'll move them to wherever I want. And I can change the colors on those, but for now, I'm going to worry about the most important thing, which is setting the ID and the right label on it. This one, yours may say button 5, yours may not. Either way, you've got to do an oral history button, so we can call this main menu oral history button. Again, we want to make sure that these IDs are the same, and we'll change this to oral history. Just for the sake of having a different color, I'll make that a different color. Okay, I'll go to the next button. Yours may say button 4, yours may not. Either way, we're going to change this main menu pictures button. And I'll change this text to pictures. I can change the background color to something new. And last but not least, general history. This last one, I'm going to change this to main menu statistics. And I'll change this text to statistics. All right, I'll change the color on that button as well to something else. Great. I've got my 4 buttons. There were 7 items that I needed on here. I needed one more text for one more set of instructions for my reflection. So I'll go ahead and grab a label and bring it down here. And I will change the label on this. This one will say main menu reflection instructions. And I'll put in some text. What did I do over here? I said, please complete your reflection after visiting this project. Okay, please complete your reflection. Again, change the background color or the font color if you'd like. I'm going to change the font size. Might be a bit too big. Adjust it. And last but not least, my last button, which is my reflection button. I forgot to do this, but I can go ahead and just duplicate one more button. So I'll duplicate, it doesn't matter which button you duplicate, but I'll duplicate this button. And because this one is more important, it's the reflection button, I'll just make it a little larger. More important than that is I want to make sure that the ID is correct. Main menu reflection button. And I'll change that text to reflection. Great. I am done with my main menu in terms of design. Now all I need to do is add code to each one of these. So I'll start by clicking on General History and go to the General History. Now what I'm going to do is go to the events and add a click event. A click event will allow something to happen when the click happens on that General History button. So I'm going to insert and show code. And now it says when the main menu General History button is clicked, it has this console.log. We can leave that, but we want to set the screen. So I'm going to go to UI controls and set screen. And we'll call this General History screen. Okay, so when the General History button is clicked, set the screen to the General History screen. You may not be the one making the general history screen, but we're going to have all the code in place. Okay, now let's go ahead and go back into design mode, and let's go to oral history. Make sure that you are on events. And now you see main menu oral history button. I can do another click event for that. And it adds code. This is different from Scratch because it's not code by sprite. It's all in the same area. Just like before, when the main menu oral history button is clicked, I'm going to leave the console.log and I'm going to set the screen because it needs to go to oral history screen. It is extremely important that you leave this as camel case, lowercase first word, uppercase the subsequent words, no spaces in between. All right, notice how we switch to code mode. I'll go back to design mode, click on pictures, do a click event. The code was added. I want to set the screen here to pictures screen. Okay, and 2 more to go. Go back to design mode. I'll go to statistics. I will add an on-click event. It added some more. I'll add another set screen to statistics screen. Make sure that you're spelling it correctly. And last but not least, I'll go to design mode and go to reflection button, main menu reflection button, add 1 more click event, and I'll have to scroll down, add another set screen to reflection screen. And there, I'm done. I've got the screen, I've got all the code. If I wanted to, I could show the text. You can add it in either way in AppLab, but you're done with the main menu screen.